Well, hi everyone. This is Royce with Viking Wax Press, and today I'm joined by my brother Aaron in the Bills hat, and then I've got Kelly from BlitzWeekly, and we're here to talk football cards. But Kelly had us on our show, on his show, uh, about a month ago, I guess, 3 weeks ago, something like that. So we wanted to have him on our show because we had such a good time. So first of all, Kelly, tell us where you're at right now.
I am in the Far East. I am in Taiwan visiting
Wow,
family, and I found a card shop, so it's been good times.
that's
Oh,
impressive. Cool.
Yes,
Well, Aaron
sir.
and I are coming from Oregon, so we're it's nighttime here, it's morning there, so it worked out pretty good. So, like I said, I'm with Viking Wax Press, and I've done some videos in the past. The majority of my videos are I rank helmets of different leagues, and I've also done UFL videos for the Memphis Showboats, and I've done some football card videos, and that's what we're here to talk about today is some football cards. So, I wanted to really pick Kelly's brain a little bit, and he's a card expert. So, first of all, Kelly, tell us how you got into sports card collecting.
I mean, that's a title for the almighty man, an expert. Hey, I started collecting. My gateway cards were Star Wars cards in 1977. I fell in love with that movie and got the cards with the gum.
Yeah.
The next year, in 1978, I discovered, oh, there's baseball cards with gum and there are football cards with gum. And I was off to the races, man. Started collecting, through probably about sixth grade, 1982. And then I took a break through high school, junior high, high school, as I was playing sports. After college, when I was living here in Taiwan, I got reunited, reacquainted with cards, and fell in love with the cards and collected heavily from 1995 to about 2002. Then life happens. You buy a house and you get married, you have kids. And so I kind of stepped away. But 2023, my buddy, my co-host, Patrick Marshall, he called me. He goes, dude, you're not going to believe how amazing these cards look in when they're slabbed. And I'm like, slabbed? What are you talking about? Because the Beckett days, we knew about Beckett slabs, but I didn't know that they had kind of taken a step down and PSA had taken a step up and SGC came out of nowhere. And so since then, I've, dove like headfirst back into this hobby and I'm loving every minute of it.
That is awesome.
cool.
Cool. Good deal. So I know that you're collecting the 1973 Topps football set currently, true?
Yes,
Right?
sir. That and some other mid 70s sets. I'm 75, 76, 77 to go along with my 78, 79, 70, which is my birth year.
Okay.
Did that this year. And then last year I completed the 1972 set with all three series. So
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
the third series, that one is a challenging one. I'll let everyone know right now. Financially, patience wise, you got to be disciplined and it's a journey. The only one tougher than that I know of, Royce and Aaron, is the 1977 Mexican set from Topps.
Yeah.
That one is like the almighty, most difficult set to put together, just based on location, history, two cards per pack. There's so many other videos about that, but I haven't gone down that trail. I picked up a few Mexican 1977 Topps football cards, but and a couple of Star Wars cards because, like I said, that's my gateway, 1977 Star Wars.
Yeah. We actually got a few packs of those way back then, and I loved them. They're fun. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that's really cool. I just started, you guys kind of got me back into it. I'm just starting to collect the 75 set again. I put a bid on a little mini block of them. So we'll see if I get them, but I'm gonna start collecting again just because it's got me kind of all revved up again just watching you
Dude,
guys get into it.
Royce, I mean, if you like putting them in binders and like flipping through there in the memories, that's always fun. Or if you want to keep them, in the box and then just kind of take out the cards as you see fit. Hey, there's no right or wrong way to do this hobby. You do you, and it's fun, man. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I've kind of had a renaissance since Facebook with the trading. I was just going to card shops by myself and, getting some cards that I thought were cool and stuff. But then with the trading, it's been kind of fun, kind of like the old days, like, hey, I'll give you these if you give me those. And, kind of the old trading card,
Concept.
mantra of, like, hey, I've got these ones extra. Do you have any extra of the ones I want? So that I think the online has been pretty fun for me. There are sites like Royce was saying where you can buy them, And then there's always eBay and stuff, but it is kind of fun to trade and see what other people are looking for and stuff. So I really enjoyed that community aspect of it and the just like, the old trading, horse trading kind of thing. Like, and
Well, Aaron, I mean, that's how
everybody's
you and
cool
I
too.
got acquainted, right? Was
Yeah.
through a
Right.
trade, and next thing you know, we're with Royce, and hey, we're doing YouTube videos together. So it
Yeah.
grows. The community is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So what
So
made
I
you
was
enter?
wondering, oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Royce. You
Okay,
go.
I'll just finish that 73 question. What made you want to start the 73 set?
Your brother kind of pushed me, nudged me into it. So I was like, I got a Dick Butkus, an OJ Simpson, um, a Joe Namath, and Larry Zonka. Because
Okay.
I love the photography. I was like, man, these are beautiful cards, and the way that the design is, and the layout, and looks, like a ribbon on there. And I was like, these are clean looking cards, man. And then Aaron was like, hey, I've got some cards if you want to trade. And yeah, so we made a couple of trades. He sent some my way, and like I said, next thing I know, I'm like trying to buy like a starter lot, and then trying to pick up a bunch of singles on the cheap, and that's been an experience. I'm not done yet. I'm probably about three-quarters way through, but that's one of my missions is to try to complete that set. Hopefully by the end of this year, if not early next year.
We've
Awesome.
got a good example of what you're talking about because I love them too. So this is a Claude Humphrey. So see that ribbon, and then they've got a lot of action shots in that year. There he is sacking Roger Staubach. I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I like that picture right there. Um, but and then they've got the airbrushed out logos, the Falcons logos off and the Cowboys logos off. So I just think they're a cool card too, and I think Coy Bacon's the one I sent you that got you kind of reinvigorated on it.
Dude, yeah, I dove head first after that, after you sent me the Coy Bacon, who apparently that isn't even his like real name.
Oh, really?
Hmm. I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Wow.
He went by Coy, but no,
Oh,
if you do some history research online, you'll see he had a different name.
uh-huh.
He came from the World Football League,
Yeah.
which I don't know if y'all are familiar with that,
Uh-huh.
but I learned about that recently. The WFL. I was like, wow. Oh, was it that or was the
I
other
think he
one
did some Continental Football League, like
That's
Yeah.
the one. That's
Pro.
the one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
yeah.
Because the
Dude, I forgot.
WFL wasn't until 74 and 75. So, but there were guys
Yeah.
like Zonka was in the World Football League. He played for Memphis there. So, yeah, there were quite a few people that flipped from the NFL in 74 and 75 to try it out. So that was kind of cool.
Hmm.
I'm wondering, since you've been in the hobby, what kind of changes have you seen since you started or since you got
Since
back into it?
2023 or
Yeah. Yeah,
since
maybe
I came
just
back in.
even since like when you were in it from 95 to '02, and then when you jumped back in, what were some of the bigger changes you saw?
I mean, 95 was the proliferation of manufacturers and branding, different sets and then inserts. Which to me was like, oh, okay, hey, you got all these different manufacturers, but you got your base level, your mid tier, and then your high end. And so you could, if you had deep enough pockets, you could probably go and collect each set at each level.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Coming back in 2023, there's like licensed and unlicensed,
Hmm.
and it's a different beast now. Card grading was not around in 95, as far as I knew. There was PSA, but even I had no clue about that until about 2000 when I returned back to the States.
Yeah.
But other big changes, I mean, like currently, you look at like the pursuit of like one of ones and one of fives and rookie patch autos and football cards, and that wasn't really a thing in the mid 90s. It was, autographs didn't really hit till like the late 90s, if I remember correctly. But that it's an interesting journey, when I reflect on it now with you guys and I'm like going through the stories in my mind. Um, the other thing was at card shows, dealers would bring like whatever, like you can work on sets at card shows. Nowadays you can't. It's just hey,
Right.
whatever the hot singles are, that's what they're moving. And so for set builders like myself and you guys, we have to find other venues to make our trades or purchases.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's I part of what you said in the 90s when they kind of tiered it a little bit.
Hmm.
That's kind of when I backed out a little bit because it kind of priced me out of those top tiers. So I didn't for about, 20 last 20 or so years haven't really got into it except for uh every now and then I like Blazer basketball cards and Vikings football cards. So I'll pick those up as I see them, but overall I kind of stepped back, but now I want to get back into it for the nostalgia of it. So
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you guys like during that interim from like let's say 95 to 2025, were y'all trying to pick up like team sets, to kind of stay within the hobby, like Vikings team sets, Bills team sets, or
I
did
was
you
I was
just really kind of walk away from it?
Yeah, I was still trying to get I do have a huge box of only Bills, and I was still trying to get every Bills player. So I was trying to get a card of every Bills player that was ever made, even if they weren't on the Bills for that card. Say they were playing for another team and they made a card for them. So I was trying to do that kind of since 2001. But then when I got back into I started deciding I wanted to get more just NFL cards, not Bills, because I kind of got to a point where I had all the Bills.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, now maybe I want to NFL. And then I got the idea from some other people about runs of like, hey, I got a run of this player. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want some runs of my favorite players. So for me, I kind of didn't do anything from probably when I got married in 94 to like '01, and then I started going back to build my Bills set and my Bills box. But I'm trying to get Royce back into it because he's been doing more other things football related, like making his videos and everything. Um, but um, but yeah,
That's funny how our stories kind of interweave and intertwine,
right.
and then it's like when I'm in and y'all are in, it's an interesting path of all three of us.
Yeah.
And then Royce came up with the those current was it UFL cards,
yeah,
and
I
those
made
are
my own
awesome,
custom
man.
set of UFL cards, which is out there for anybody who wants it and is able to print it off. I've got a PDF basically of 373 different cards that you can just print off at will for the whole set. So, and over 40, about 45 guys per team, 8 teams total. So that was fun to make. And I
That's
did it really because it's something I've always wanted to do. So I've got a video out you can check out on my channel about how that all worked. But that's another thing that kind of got me back into it too was making my own set and then looking at, boy, how much have I spent in my lifetime with football cards? Like so much of it, especially in our early days, just hours and hours and hours. And why? Because I loved it. So I'm starting to get that passion back again. It's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's one thing I kind of miss about cards in the old days. They'd make 20, 25 guys on every team. They had sets of like 528. Now, like they'll just make the stars, the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs on a lot of the sets. And I'm like, I want the punter and I want the like,
Long
you
The
know,
guys in
snapper.
the trenches, and
Yeah.
yeah, right, right. Yeah. So I kind of miss that. So that's kind of cool, Riss, that you did 45 guys on each team.
Yeah.
Um, One other thing I was wondering, Kelly, is do you have a favorite set or like a favorite individual card? Like my all-time favorite card is this, or my all-time favorite year or set is this.
great question, man. I got to think on that one. Set wise, I'm still in love with the 1978 Topps football set. That was
Okay.
that first set that I got introduced to as a kid, and I completed it. I've got some checklists I need to upgrade because, like a 8-year-old kid, I'm sitting here like checking the checklist and going, do I have these cards or not?
Yeah.
Right.
Not knowing that defacing the cards would devalue them.
Yeah.
No clue. So yeah,
We all
man.
did that though back then. I think we all did as kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Definitely that. Favorite football card. I don't have it with me, but probably gonna have to go with. I have a Jim Brown jersey autographed card from I think it's like 1997, a game
Oh
worn
wow.
jersey, and it has a picture on the back of the card with the jersey. And it says worn game worn from
Wow.
I think it was from Upper Deck.
That's
Cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like Jim Brown to me, he is the standard of running backs. And being a Cowboys fan, like Emmitt Smith, great yardage guy. Tony Dorsett, great, but Jim Brown, he is the man. And then I probably put Barry Sanders second, and then Emmitt Smith third in my top three. Y'all might have a different opinion, but those are my
I'd
top
put
three running
Walter
backs.
Payton in there. Personally, I like Walter better than Emmett, but that's me. I'm kind of like Aaron, not into the Cowboys. Although Herschel Walker, when he was on the Cowboys, I loved Herschel Walker. So, but that's
So
because
is this your set you're talking about, the 78 there?
Yeah, that's the 78 right
Um,
there.
yeah,
There's a Reggie McKenzie. I do have a unmarked checklist there. Not one of the team checklists, but one of the full checklists. So
Yeah,
nice.
let
I'll have
me
to look
let
at
me
what
look
I've
at
got and say, hey
it.
man, this is what
Yeah.
you got it or not. But
Yeah, but I like that year too. I like the color, like the bold colors, but I'm always curious, like, why did they choose yellow on the Bills? And like Lions is pink, and I was like, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
hey, do y'all remember those pencils? Like maybe y'all were like second grade, fifth grade, that with a football team names on them,
yeah,
and
Right.
like
Yeah.
you never wanted to use your own team pencil. You like try to like hoard it. So like after Vikings, you're like not using the Vikings pencil,
yeah,
but here, I hate this team. I'm using their pencil first.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what that kind of reminds me of, Aaron. It's like you're like these colors are way off, but I remember these pencils and they matched.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
those
kind of
pencils
one of
were
my
cool.
other questions I was thinking was, do you collect any other collectibles other than cards?
I've got a couple of mini helmets over the years.
Okay.
Um, that's about it, man. Other than like I said, the Star Wars cards, baseball cards, I'm into,
Mm.
football cards, and then like I said, I got a couple of mini helmets, but no, like you have like the giant banner in the back, and I don't have that. I'm thinking about getting a couple of Cowboys team posters from McDonald's that came out like in the late 70s.
Okay.
I was thinking about that, because that would be kind of part of my childhood. I remember having one and putting it over my bed, and
Right.
that was just part of my youth. I was like nostalgia,
Yeah.
maybe that would be about it though, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the nostalgia is pretty strong, and that's why kind of we gravitate towards those 70s, early 80s football cards because, that's what we collected when we were kids, and it's like brings us back a little bit. The new cards are so polished and so well made, but there's a little of, too glossy or like too well done or overproduced for me, and it's like, hey, I like it when they were kind of like, oh, that's weird, or like, what are they doing? Um, I kind of like that, some of the airbrushing or some of the like weird pictures they chose, or why did they do this? Just kind of for
Well, the
the
evolution though of card design, like you mentioned, 73 with the great photography. 72 didn't they had those in action shots, but that was about it, man. Like
yeah,
you weren't getting they're usually like just those pose shots of
right,
football players.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
but then, and the airbrushing in 73 moving forward, I wanted to ask y'all, tops, they're going to be back in the game. Is it this fall or next year? Will that, you know, will that be an impetus to try to complete that set because they're coming back in after
Coming
a
back.
hiatus?
I might be interested in that. That'd be kind of cool if they do a football set. I mean, it depends on, for me, I'm such a cheapskate that price will kind of drive that.
Hmm.
And if they do what Upper Deck does with those e-packs, I probably won't do it because it's just unbearably expensive to go in and buy your e-pack and try to get three of the same guy before you even get one of them sent to you. That it just ruins it for me. So, but if Topps buys or sells packs or even sets, I think it'd be kind of cool to get a new Topps set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, what do you think, man?
I am also frugal. And part of the fun for me is the thrill of the hunt. Like I'll go to a card shop and they'll have these big boxes of random cards, and I'll spend an hour in there, looking at my list and trying to find, these quarter cards or dollar cards or whatever. Some guy will walk in there, drop $1,000, you know, in 5 seconds and walk out. I'm like, dude, I'm getting like more of my money's worth here because I've spent an hour here and I'm gonna spend $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
So the cheapskate in me and the kind of that kind of like kind of the thrill of the hunt instead of just plopping down a bunch of money. Um, but I do like, keeping, I always keep the current Bills roster. So I do like keeping some current cards. I have my current Bills cards in a separate box. And I've even made cards for the coaches and the owner and stuff like that. So I have everybody that's involved. And I'm kind of a little bit, I don't want to jinx the team. So I'm like, I have to have every card before the playoffs or they're going to lose, so I'm kind of, what do you call it?
So who were you
Superstitious
missing
feeling
last
good.
year?
I'm
That's what I want to know.
superstitious.
Yeah.
I'm not just stitious. I'm superstitious. Um, so, but
Hey, real quick, we only got a few minutes left.
oh, do
So,
we? Okay.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. The new ones, they are very expensive, and you get a pack for like $10, and you only get like what, 8 cards or something in it.
Right.
Yeah. And so the old person in me is like, man, back in 1980, I used to get 15 cards for a quarter, so it's a little tough for me as
Those
a,
days are gone now, Aaron.
yes,
Welcome to
they are. They
2025,
are,
man.
I know. So the old fart in me is kind of struggling with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Or Roy's going to say, as we're kind of winding down, is there like a last question you want to throw in there or a topic you want
Well,
to address real quick?
I just wanted to thank you for coming on, first of all, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to ask people where they can find you and talk about. I know you're on X and Facebook, and there's a Weekly Blitz website. Anything else? Any other place? And I'll put all of
What
those
websites?
links below.
What? Sure. Website's blitzweekly.com. YouTube channel name is Blitz Weekly. 2 words, Blitz Weekly. The show on the channel is called Card Blitz. Yeah, you can always and you can find us on Twitter or X with Blitz Weekly. Instagram, we are Card Blitz Show. And then on Facebook, find us at Card Blitz or Blitz Weekly. If you want to
Okay,
follow us, you'll find us. But
cool. And
no,
then are
hey guys,
you?
I've had a blast, man. We could do like a series called like Three Frugal Guys and kind of see what we can do. Hey, what the $10 challenge? What can you get and
Ooh,
how
that'd be
long?
good.
Yeah.
I think
Do
Aaron
you
would
also
win.
attend card shows as Card Blitz?
Yes, yes. Well, we've partnered up with the folks over at Frisco Card Show. That promoter's been very gracious and kind in inviting us out, as have the folks at the Dallas Card Show, which is a pretty big one here in the Metroplex as well.
Awesome. That's
But
cool.
I'm not going to make the national this year, so I won't be there. You guys might make it, but I know I can't make it.
No, too cheap to fly and stuff to those. But hey, before we go, I just wanted to say, since you're from Texas, we're all praying for that community that lost all those people in the flood recently. So devastating, terrible. So the whole nation's behind you guys there. Just tough. But Kelly, thanks for coming on from Taiwan. That's pretty awesome. And we'd love to have you. We could talk football all day long, I'm sure. But
Oh, dude, we will do this again on our channel, your channel. We'll make this happen, man.
that'd be great. Cool. Well, thank you so much for
Right.
seeing us. And again, this is Royce with Viking Wax Press, along with Aaron and Kelly from Blitz Weekly. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you
Thank
later.
you. See you later.
Bye.
Take care.